This is a short story that I wrote. It's part of a collection of short stories about historical figures. And this part called 15 Characters, Volume 2. And this one's about a legendary American blues musician, Delta blues musician called Blind Willie Johnson. And it's called Johnson. Johnson hauled himself over to the hospital, coughing and sweating profusely. He had contracted malarial fever, and no hospital would treat him. But Johnson thought that he would persist with the whole travesty. Despite being blind, he knew his way around the town, and he could arrive at the hospital with no assistance. He dragged himself over to the foyer of the hospital. The tawny walls had cracked. Several nurses pushed mobile beds across the corridors, and the whole building was so dilapidated that one felt that it might crumble at any moment. Johnson crawled over to the reception, where he encountered a stern secretary. She had grey hair, glasses, and a white coat. Please let me see your doctor," Johnson vociferated with his hoarse voice. "The doctor denied you treatment several times," she said. "Please," he cried out as he fell on the floor crying. The principal doctor came over. He had short brown hair, bushy eyebrows, and green eyes. "What's this?" as he observed Johnson lying on the floor in agony. "Look, I told you, sir, we won't treat you. You're a vagrant, a blind man, and a nigger. Please, will you leave?" Johnson crawled over across the floor as he continued to sob. He rose up and stumbled across outside. "Now don't come back," the doctor roared. Johnson continued to sob and walked in the sultry weather. It was summer, he was ill, and he'd been afflicted with bad luck. As a matter of fact, he had been lucky his whole life. Johnson continued to walk across the street with desultory movements. Indeed, to those around him, he was just another penniless vagrant, a nuisance, a parasite, a swarthy irrelevance. They had clearly not heard any of his songs. Johnson arrived at his house. Had been destroyed by a fire a few months ago before, but with nowhere left to go, he continued to live in its ruins. He was destitute, bankrupt, ill, and on the cusp of death. The ceiling and the walls had collapsed, so he slept on debris, kneeling his head on the remnants of the walls. Tragically, his guitar had also been destroyed. His wife, Angeline, came into the ruins. "Willie," she asked. She carried a guitar with her. "What?" Johnson gently asked. "I'm carrying something with me," she said. "What could that be?" "A guitar. I bought it at the pawn shop," she said as she handed it over to him. Johnson broke down in tears. "Oh, thank goodness." "Did you try going to the hospital?" Angelina asked. "No matter how much I try, they won't treat me. They keep refusing treatment. I've gone to several hospitals, and they keep refusing treatment," Johnson answered. "I'm shivering, I'm hot, I can't get a meal, I can't get a bath. I feel like I'm dying. As a matter of fact, I am dying." "Well, can't you write a song about it?" I can't, Johnson answered, sobbing. I at least have a guitar now again. I need to start performing in bars and in churches again. Maybe I might start making money again, but I'm too ill to perform. Maybe I need to leave Texas and start performing in other states, but I can't," he said as he just dropped the guitar and his noise resonated across the ruins. "Have you tried praying?" Angelina asked. "I pray every day. As a matter of fact, God is the only one getting me through this," Johnson answered. Tears welled up in Angeline's eyes. "Can't you try playing something?" Johnson plucked and moulded the strings and bellowed out in his cracked and hoarse voice. "Nobody's fault but mine. He continued to groan as he strummed his guitar. He played a few more passages before he gently uttered, "Can't nobody hide from God." Johnson leaned the guitar on the remnants of the charred wall. "I'm gonna die. I might as well play some songs." Play "Jesus is Coming Soon." Play "God Don't Never Change." Play "God I'm Satisfied," Angeline said. "I'll play all of them." "I will," Johnson plaintively muttered. A black man walked through the ruins of the house. He was wearing a suit and a bowler hat. "Good grief, what's happened here?" he said. It was Colin Jenkins, the owner of a saloon in Texas. "The house burned down," Angelina answered. "And you still living here?" Colin asked. "We can't afford to live anywhere else," Angelina answered. "Well, Willie, can you perform in my saloon again this Thursday?" Colin inquired. "I'd love to get the money for that. I'd love to perform, but I can't. I'm dying of pneumonia," Johnson replied. "What, shouldn't you be at hospital?" Jenkins asked, taken aback. The hospital won't take niggers, blind people, or vagrants." "I'm all three," Johnson stated. Jenkins adjusted his hat. "Well, I'll be damned." "Nobody's fault but mine," Johnson sang in his gruff voice. Jenkins walked through the pile of rubble, his face perpetually startled. "How on earth can you live here?" he asked, bewildered. Johnson played several licks from his songs and sang wordlessly along with them. Angeline continued to sob in desperation as Johnson continued to play and sing. Jenkins strode over to Johnson, knelt down and placed his bowler hat on his head. "Take my hat, Chief. Good luck." Johnson kept playing and singing with the hat on his head. Jenkins walked away from the ruined house as Angeline wept and wailed in desperation. Jenkins resolved to forget about the incident, so he walked with swagger towards the next business meeting. However, in the burned ruins, chaos, death, and sadness reigned.